Hello and thanks for joining me, your Sports Pilot James Glory, on another exciting episode of Sport Vibe on DNT, where we'll bring you exciting and latest sport happenings across the world of sport every Tuesday, as is our tradition to do so. This week won't be an exception, so I'd implore you to please stay tuned because we'll be right back shortly after this break. Welcome back. It's a beautiful Tuesday starting this week's edition of Sport Vibe on GNT World from the world of Formula One, talking about the reigning champion Max Verstappen, who was able to get his back-to-back win in the world of Formula One at the Japan Grand Prix following the Italian Grand Prix. It was an interesting outing for Max Verstappen, who has intensified in the race to close the gap between him and the McLaren driver Oscar Piastri, who sits at the top of the driver standing in the world of Formula One. He was able to do so, finishing fourth at the Japan Grand Prix, closing that gap to 69 points between him and the McLaren's driver, where we couldn't see any of the McLaren driver at the Japan Grand Prix finishing on podium, but George Russell was able to finish second on podium at the Japan Grand Prix. An interesting one for Max Verstappen, who will be looking forward to winning the 7 races left in the world of Formula One to be able to retain his crown as the driver champion in the world of Formula One. An interesting one talking about the driver of the day award being given to Carlos Sainz, who was able to back a podium, finishing third and making it his first podium for the Williams in the world of Formula One. An interesting one for him also. It was a shock for him, but I think he deserved that win, putting up a fight at the Japan Grand Prix. As things stands right now, the two McLaren's drivers are ahead of Max Verstappen, but Max Verstappen won't give up without a fight as 7 races are left in the world of Formula One. They remain at the top of the Constructors' Championship, where you talk about the McLaren. The season is going to be a long one as Max Verstappen looks to be back to his winning ways, and we know what that man is capable of doing once he starts winning. Will he be able to get streaks of wins together to be able to retain his title as the driver of the season in the world of Formula One year 2025? But quickly, let's switch our attention to the world of football, starting from the Spanish La Liga, talking about Real Madrid, who have maintained their 100% record in the Spanish La Liga this season. Over the weekend, they were able to defeat Espanyol 2-0, where we saw their talisman Kylian Mbappe, the man that can't stop scoring goals right now for Real Madrid. I think the team Real Madrid is built around Kylian Mbappe. He was also able to find the back of the net, scoring their second goal against Espanyol over the weekend. The Xabi Alonso side are doing incredibly well to maintain their top position in the Spanish La Liga. We also saw Eddie Militao scoring a stunning goal outside the box 18 for Real Madrid over the weekend against Espanyol. Quite some positive reports for Real Madrid, as we saw Jude Bellingham back, Camavinga also back to the team for Real Madrid, who are yet to be defeated in the La Liga this season. An interesting one for them as they look to build up momentum. Probably before the El Clasico, they will be sitting comfortably at the top of the La Liga table. We can't say the same thing for another Real Madrid side, but this time around, the Atletico side of Madrid. Remember that Atletico Madrid this season has just been able to win 1 game so far out of the available 5 matches that they have played in the Spanish La Liga this season. A sad one for the Diego Simeone side. Remember, they also suffered a defeat in their first Champions League match against Liverpool, a match that they were hoping hoping that they could get a draw in that one, but we saw Van Dijk scoring a decisive goal to get the maximum point for Liverpool the Champions League, and a sad one for them. Talking about Atletico Madrid right now in the Spanish La Liga, they are way below the top half in the Spanish La Liga, and if they continue with this form, we might not be seeing them playing in any European football next season. But another interesting one coming from the Portuguese league, we talk about the special one, Jose Mourinho back with Benfica. Jose Mourinho, now the head coach of Benfica, and he was able to get a win in his first match with Benfica. After 25 years, he was able to get a win over the weekend against AVS in the Portuguese league. Is an interesting one for Mourinho back to the Benfica side, as he will be hoping to help Benfica secure the Portuguese title this time around in the league. Remember that they lost out of the league last season after being able to finish 2 points behind Sporting in the league this last season. But under Mourinho this season, Benfica will be looking to close the gap and eventually win the title this season. Remember, they are sitting second position currently with a game in hand behind Porto in the league right now. It's going to be an interesting one for Jose Mourinho, seeing him back with Chelsea also, as they will be playing Chelsea in the UEFA Champions League. Will Mourinho be able to help Benfica get back on their winning ways in the Champions League and also winning the league this season? I'm talking about football again. We digress to the Premier League. We talk about a man who made his return to the Premier League team, Ange Postecoglou, the former manager of Tottenham Hotspur, back with Nottingham Forest, and is yet to get a win with Nottingham Forest. A sad one. This didn't depict the way he started with Tottenham. You remember he got 10 wins in a row with Tottenham when he was in charge of Tottenham Hotspur, but he's yet to get a win with Nottingham Forest this season, as his first defeat came against Arsenal, where they were defeated 3-0, and at the Carabao Cup, where they were hoping to win yet again after leading 2-0, but they suffered a defeat, a shocking one, against Swansea. Swansea were able to come back from behind to win that particular match 3-0 at the Carabao Cup. And also in the Premier League over the weekend, they couldn't get a win against the newly promoted side Burnley, as they could only settle for a draw in the Premier League. And Postecoglou has so many things to do with Nottingham Forest, and I don't think he has so many time to do that with Nottingham Forest, as they will be playing in the Europa League this week. Will he be able to reciprocate that same form he had with Tottenham Hotspur with Nottingham Forest? Remember, he was able to defeat Manchester United to win the Europa League last season. Will he be able to guide them to Europa victory this season as the manager of Nottingham Forest? An interesting one to look out for between Ange Postecoglou and Nottingham Forest, after Nottingham Forest decided to part ways with Nuno Espirito Santos that gave them the European football. But quickly, let's go on a very short break, and when we're right back, we continue from where we stopped. Welcome back. Talking about football, we said week 2.
JK Royal Signatures, a blend of African fabric.
Welcome back. I'm still talking football. Remember, before the break, I said Ange Postecoglou is here to get a win as the manager of Nottingham Forest, but an interesting one for Liverpool, who also have maintained their 100% record in the league, Premier League this season, getting 5 wins out of 5 matches being played, and they were able to do that in the Manchester debut over the weekend, defeating Everton 2-1 in that particular encounter. Is an interesting one for Liverpool, already the reigning champion, maintaining their spot in the Premier League this season. They remain the only team yet to lose any match in the Premier League this season. And also, you know that Crystal Palace remain also one of the teams that is yet to be defeated in the Premier League this season. And these two sides will be taking on each other in the next Premier League game. The Oliver Glasner side, who are yet to be defeated in the Premier League this season, taking on the side that has maintained their 100% record, winning games after games this season. Who will be winning, or will the match be ending in draw in favor of Crystal Palace? As I know that Liverpool will be looking forward to continuing as much as they can to win games and retain their spot as the champion of England in the Premier League. And a sad one for Chelsea Football Club, but more interesting one for Manchester United. Manchester United were able to get a win against Chelsea over the weekend, 2-1, as they reduce the pressure on Rúben Amorim as their manager. Manchester United defeating Chelsea 2-1 in a match that we saw 2 red cards, as we saw Roberto Sanchez being sent off in the 4th minute. For Chelsea, it was a sad one, but for Manchester United, they took advantage of that man down and they were able to find the back of the net twice, as we saw Bruno Fernandes scoring his 100th goal for Manchester United in his 200 matches for Manchester United. What an interesting outing he had over the weekend. Not a bad day at the office, scoring a goal in your 200 win, getting your 100 goal, and also getting a crucial win this season in the Premier League as they continue to search for a right path under Rúben Amorim. It's a great maximum point for Manchester United against Chelsea, who are yet to defeat Manchester United at Old Trafford since the year 2013. An interesting one for Manchester United, but a sad one for Manchester City, who couldn't hold on to their lead against Arsenal over the weekend. Remember that Arsenal faced off Manchester City at the Emirates Stadium, where they were eventually able to get a draw, cause a goal from Martinelli, and that means we saw Manchester City held on to a draw in the Emirates Stadium, where they were already winning that match. And it's a sad one for the Pep Guardiola side this season, but an interesting one for Arsenal Football Club, who overcame the defeat to get at least a point at the Emirates Stadium. Is an interesting weekend already in the world of football, and we'll be also witnessing some games played in the Europa League over the week. An interesting one for Manchester United fans all over the world, but more exciting one for Nigerians, as we saw Ademola Lookman back with the Atlanta team in their win against Torino over the weekend. You remember that Ademola Lookman has been sidelined by Atlanta over the week in their matches, where they also suffered a defeat in the UEFA Champions League against PSG, but he was back with the squad in their win against Torino over the weekend. Ademola Lookman, the African best player already yet to participate before now in the colors of Atlanta, but back with Atlanta, as we'll be looking forward to seeing so much of Ademola Lookman, as he'll be looking to switch from Atlanta in the January transfer window to another team. And this is the length at which we'll be going on this week's episode of Sport Vibe on DNT World. For more news and sports stories, follow us across our various social media handles at Sport Vibe on DNT World. Enjoy your week, remain a law-abiding citizen. Thank you.